everybody, this asshole's from Florida. I was like, oh no.
I don't really think it's really much of a beef. I think Kendrick's winning.
Oh yeah. Miss Piggy over olive oil. Next, what you got?
I don't know. When I was a kid, I remember growing up.
Wait. Wait a minute.
He's like, wait, we just
You ever get a foot job from olive oil?
can't say I did. Thank you for joining us at the Sofa Kingdom podcast with your host, Nelson,
Ian.
Ed, and our very special guest today,
Dominic.
All right.
Hey, buddy, welcome.
Thank you for joining us. Kind of got thrown right into the mix is what we do.
He's a friend of Matt's who's playing the guitar right now, and
Yes.
a friend of Matt's is a friend of mine.
Goddamn right. So tell us a little bit about yourself and what you're doing, man.
Yeah, I'm a songwriter from Lake Worth. I've been playing under my own name now since about 2018.
Nice.
Little OCD about how many shows I've played. I know that I've played exactly 469 shows.
Dang.
God.
Nice.
In that time, I've also played in 25 out of 50 states.
All right,
Oh,
okay.
that's pretty dope.
Making your way.
I hate that number too. Like halfway is not a good. and like we were off for the holidays when we got home from tour, and like it's just been sitting at 25, and it's driving me crazy. So
You played in Hawaii yet?
no, and I don't want Hawaii to be last.
All right.
Right.
I don't want, and we'll get into that. But yeah, so I've also been for the past couple of years touring the country on the train and on Amtrak, services and stuff. I got to go to Canada that way as well.
Nice.
And this is the last time that we're going to be doing the Amtrak tour.
All right.
It's
Did you get
fun.
to ride like a complimentary moose when you got to Canada, or that's a myth?
No, I almost got arrested at
you
the
look at me like
border
that?
actually instead. Yeah.
Nice.
No, so I had.
You almost got thrown in Canadian prison?
Yeah.
I bet you
It's
it's
probably
awfully
so
polite.
comfortable.
It's awfully polite. They're like, here's sorry, it's only a Craftmatic bed.
Yeah.
They give you coffee in the morning.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, anything else you need, sir? It was, and that's where my whole experience in Canada was just bizarre. So as someone from Florida, it was almost about a year ago to the day that we were there. So NHL playoffs are going on right now, and
Everything shuts down up there when that happens.
So I was in Vancouver, and the Panthers, when I grew up, they were literally giving away Panther tickets.
Oh, yeah.
They would you would go down to the arena, you didn't need tickets, they just let you in.
They were that good.
Yeah. and so last year, they have this crazy run and they're going on in the playoffs, and I'm in a bar in Vancouver eating like poutine. Mm-hmm. And I had like the realization, I'm like, I'm the only person from Florida in this bar in Canada watching Florida hockey. Like it made no sense at all.
And you're eating poutine.
And so I kind of just mentioned.
That's poutine.
I know.
Okay.
We're going to have to explain that to our audience.
Yeah.
Poutine is not exactly what you think it is.
It's not related to poutang at all.
No.
It's a complete separate meal.
Yes.
I mean, gravy can be involved in both.
Yes, it can.
But I only recommend it in one.
Can. All right.
I'm not going to say which one. That's my business.
So,
The
but
gentleman never kisses and tells.
Keep your secrets.
so I guess at one point I actually mentioned that to the bartender, like, oh, I'm from Florida. And like, I was under the impression that Canadians were like friendly and polite. And this guy it was just like somebody from New York. He's like, hey, everybody, this asshole's from Florida. I was like, oh, no.
Oh, man.
Like, I thought you guys were fucking nice here.
They're supposed to be.
Not
Yeah,
when it's hockey.
Yeah. And when you hear, hey, everybody, nothing ever good follows that.
Yeah.
No.
That's a call to arms right there.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody.
I was like, oh, no.
Fuck.
Take the hill. You know what I mean? Like, that's what follows next. Yeah, I feel you.
That's never good. No.
So you were saying you travel by train. How was your experience traveling by train?
Because I'm picturing like 1920s hobo style.
You,
Like, I'm
what,
picturing,
steam train? Like Steamboat Willie
I'm
shit?
picturing, like car hopping. That's what I'm picturing.
So it's funny. So I do buy my tickets and just ride the train. Now I have met since I've done these tours, I met this one band in Gainesville called Blossom and Bone, and they have like hopped trains. They hop freight trains.
That's what I'm picturing.
And that's where I was like, when I heard that, I was like, that's when I planned the final amp track. I was like, the idea's done. Like they've done it better.
I was gonna say, how in the hell do you, if you hop trains, how the hell would you get your instruments in gear and like? How?
They toss them.
gotta toss it,
So you toss it first, and you gotta run and catch up to the train.
You gotta hope you get on
that
Yeah.
motherfucker.
Or your guitar is going to fucking
Call it motivation.
Yeah,
you know?
all right. Yeah. You gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah.
Hey, that's a lifestyle choice, though, right?
And it's definitely, so there's the term around, but there's the term these days, folk punk. And when I hear folk punk, that's kind of what I picture is sort of that lifestyle. Maybe somebody playing like that thing they used to wash clothes on, the washboard.
Yeah.
That's what I think of when I hear about folk punk.
Not to be confused with cyberpunk. That's a whole separate.
Yeah.
That's a whole separate.
Cyberpunk is pretty good.
That's two whole different spectrums of technology.
Yes.
And so, but I used to kind of get lumped with like folk punk, and I don't mind that in the sense of like folk being storytelling and
Right.
punk being the punk stuff that I do.
Yeah,
But,
rebellious.
yeah, you know,
Fuck the establishment.
right. And
Actually, the song was called "Fuck Florida."
yeah, oh god,
Yes, it was.
yeah,
We were listening to it again before you got here. I was like, "This is a good song. This is a good song."
all right, okay.
You gotta
Yeah,
take a
that-
listen to it. It's good.
that one. That's kind of one of the bigger requests. I had a song for a long time that I retired last year called "Broken Finger," and Broken Finger was a true story about how I quickly learned that I don't belong working in a metal factory. My buddy Mitch got me this job. I was in between jobs at the time, and I started working in this metal factory, and I had like a steel hole punch and punched through it, broke my finger. I do the thing where I count my shows.
Yeah.
I'm at about show like 97.
Yeah.
And 100's already booked. So the show's happening.
Yeah.
So hockey taped that thing together, played the show, wrote the song, and people did not let me get away from it for a long time. I had to play it like every
It
night.
came from a personal place, and that's
Yeah.
what people gravitate to because, like, it's
We've known a musician, a guitarist, and he was working in the metal shop, a factory of which we cannot mention, where was NDAs signed at the end of it.
Yes.
That being said, he was working and he was in the shop, and it was one of the machines that would jam all the time. And it was one of the things of you can't stick your hand in there. There's a little metal rod when it jams up to clear it, and he didn't, he was just trying to move quick, used his hand, lost his fucking finger, and it's like, well, learn to hold the pick this way now because
It's like
it's not going
reteaching.
back on. It's not just severed. It's crushed.
That's kind of almost the realm I was in. Like, so the machine, my finger got caught between two metal plates, and I like had the knee jerk reaction to pull my hand out, and I got like these three fingers out, and then my middle one got caught. And when I pulled it out, I mean, it was gross. Like I thought it was gone.
Yeah.
And then I went to the doctor, and they're just like, yeah, you'll be fine. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about, man?
Yeah, sometimes they don't do much for broken
That's what they're
fingers.
just. They're like, that's.
They just let them kind of hang out.
I just tell you, you'll be fine. And that's where, I have like no knuckle here or anything.
My fingers are good. I've broken a lot of other shit.
Yeah.
Ribs, dislocated both shoulders, torn meniscus, fucked up ankle.
This finger just gives me character. It's like,
I don't think I got a straight finger left.
and that is complimentary of jujitsu?
No, this was all before jujitsu.
So video games.
That was all the snowboarding, the skateboarding, everything else, and then jujitsu damaged everything else.
Yeah.
I had a lot. I was a frequent flyer at the hospital growing up. I played hockey growing up, skateboarded growing
So
up.
did we actually. We played a lot of hockey in Brooklyn, but roller hockey.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Roller hockey was really big down here in the 90s, and I've been seeing it come back around on Instagram lately. There used to be this thing called pro beach hockey, and it was sick. They would set up these rinks on the beach, and like at the end behind the nets, there were like quarter pipes. So like you play a game of hockey, like you go up a quarter
I was
pipe,
about
come
to
back
say,
down.
how can you you just run in the sand?
Well, no, they'd have rollerblades.
no,
They
have
put like a
flat
cape
surface
down.
of-
Yeah,
in
they're
the
just at the beach.
vicinity of the beach.
Yeah, it's like a
Yeah.
It's not
a
doomed.
rink
It's
on
not-
the
yeah,
beach.
yeah.
I'm picturing these guys playing hockey in the sand. Like, how in the fuck do you do this?
Sand
That will
skates.
make it one hell of a workout.
Yeah.
I
Yes,
mean,
yes, it
yeah.
would.
And how the hell are you getting the ball anywhere? Sand ain't smooth.
Where I put the balls, none of your business.
I got it.
It'll work with
right in the
lacrosse.
poutine.
You're right in the poutine.
Right.
No, yeah, we loved hockey growing up as kids. It was just the Mighty Ducks came out.
Yep.
And everybody and their mother wanted to play hockey. And we had both the Rangers and the Islanders
Yep.
killing it. for hockey at the time because it was like the early 90s. So everybody was fucking loving it. So that's
Rangers
when we got
won in
into it.
'94.
Yeah.
I couldn't roller skate, still can't. So
Really? Is it a coordination thing?
I don't know what the fuck it is. I know I tried to. Well, actually, I went ice skating for the first time this Christmas, and
How'd you do?
I didn't fall.
That's good.
But I was being held for part of it.
He's probably being held by a very strong woman,
Yes.
I would say.
Yes.
They could probably hold up any one of us.
Yeah. She's
And
powerful. She's
so-
short. She's tiny but mighty.
Glad that she was there for you to protect
I
you.
would have eaten tremendous amounts of shit had she not been there.
Do you know if you had figure skates or hockey skates on?
I had ice skates on. When
Okay.
So and I completely underestimated how tight you have to tie them.
So no double
as
gainers?
tight as possible.
Yeah.
yeah,
If you can feel your toe,
have
you're doing it wrong.
If you even have them slightly loose, you're fucking like I thought my shins were going to shatter, and I was like, I have to be doing something wrong. I am in tremendous pain right now.
I did fairly well actually ice skating. I went with Matt the one time, and that was the one piece of advice he did give me was, if you think they're too tight, they're not tight enough.
Yeah.
And it really isn't that much far off from inline skating.
So did you and
It's-
Matt hold hands when you were going?
Yeah, of course. You got- that's how you go around the ring.
Because I know there was matching scarves involved.
It's mandatory to hold hands with somebody.
Yeah, it is.
That's where I worked at. So we have a rink in Lake Worth. It was the rink I grew up playing at.
That's probably the one I went to.
I ended up working there I worked there for maybe 5 years or so as a Zamboni driver and a hockey coach. And like I started as like just like a kid who like when they do the public skating things, if you just kind of know how to skate, you're like in charge of safety. Like, all right, that kid can move, so he's on watch.
It's like they're young enough that we could pay them nearly nothing.
Exactly. This kid doesn't ask anything about benefits.
That's right.
That's great. So, back on the subject of music, like for me, like when I listen to music now, I feel like, because for a little while, the music was kind of getting lost in a lot of different genres. And now I feel like artists have kind of gravitated more into, we're not necessarily in this particular sound. Like we're like punk hip hop or we're funk, we're jazz, we're R&B, but there are also these mixtures and
whatever
hybrids that are coming
genre
out.
lends to what we've written is what the song is.
Right, but
it's not it's much less of a singular genre.
Yeah.
People are really blending things a lot more.
But what I see is making a huge comeback is like the genuine personality, the genuine music. Like artists like Jelly Roll, who came out of virtually nowhere with a fucking dope song. And it's not even like in a specific genre that I gravitate towards, but like when
He's
a song
built
is
like a love seat.
is
but the man
undeniable.
can
Yeah, he is.
man can
But when
sing.
a song is undeniable, it's fucking undeniable.
Yeah.
And you listen to it, there's thought behind it, and
like,
it's fucking dope.
I mean, well, that brings up Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Like
Biggest pop star in the world.
her music is. There's like two parts to this. Like art's subjective. That's
is.
got to be the key thing
Correct.
to life almost.
Yeah.
For me, I hate Taylor Swift's songs as the way they are presented
So
and
does
put
my,
out.
so does my girlfriend.
But say,
hates her.
my favorite musician's a guy called Frank Turner, and I've seen Frank cover a Taylor Swift song and be like, huh,
Yeah.
that song's amazing.
There's a handful
the
of
songwriting is
songs
amazing.
that I've heard covered by rock groups and punk groups, and you go, oh, when you remove it from that very commercial
Very
pop
polished,
sound, you're like,
yeah.
oh, the lyrics in there aren't too bad once you actually deliver it in a method I actually prefer to hear it in.
Or what was that song that Matt brought to my attention? Whereas the guy who normally sings like hard rock, and it was like the Colors of Sound or
Sound of Silence.
Sounds of Silence.
Disturbed. Yes.
Bro,
Oh, yeah.
when I listened to that, I'm like, this is fucking amazing.
I heard David Draymond sing that live. It's-
Man,
yeah.
he murdered it in a way I'm like, I didn't know I needed that. You
It's
know?
an old Simon and Garfunkel song.
Yeah. So there are things like that. So I know exactly what you're saying. But like me personally, when I go looking for artists or even like more so independent artists or music as a whole, it's like I have to feel something to it.
So,
something that's going to connect me to the music or blind rage. Like, cause like I need some shit that I can fight to or work out in the gym. So I'm torn between the like, fuck shit up. And that's deep.
Right.
So what do you think of the Kendrick and Drake beef? Huh?
I think hip hop rap battles are, a thing that hasn't been done to this scale in a very long time.
It's interesting.
It's
interesting
part of
because
the culture.
it's part of the culture, but generally, you have like one person puts a song, the other person puts one song, and you're like, somebody won.
Yeah, no, but they're going at it.
This has not been that.
Yeah,
It's been multiple where you're like, you
fact,
guys are breaking format a little bit, and you're getting real personal.
Somebody was even shot.
and that's what it is.
Drake's security guard outside his house was shot.
Well, that's what I thought you brought it up for, because I was gonna say the main difference to me in that is that, like, I think if you look back to like hip hop beefs, like say like the '90s stuff was, if there was a beef and there was a shooting, it was someone involved in the beef shot someone else.
Right.
Now it's like we live in a day and age where it's like, I don't know, somebody on the internet saw and
it could have been
and
a crazy
they got
thing.
mad enough
Right.
and they went over there and they shot, because that's exactly what happened.
Now we can have people's fans shooting each other.
Yes, because they're so ingrained into their artists that they're gonna do this thing like in his name.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't know what the fuck was going on, so of course I just Googled like, hey, what's the deal with that Drake? Kendrick? And it gives you
right there with
there's
you.
websites
Right
that'll
there
give
with
you
you.
a summary. It's like, then he released this, and I listened to like a couple of the shit that was released, and honestly, I don't really think it's really much of a beef. I think Kendrick's winning.
Oh yeah. What happened was Drake had an early
not
lead.
like us and Euphoria are pretty fucking good.
It's essentially murder at this point.
Yeah.
Drake had an early lead, but then he talked enough shit that he woke the sleeping giant, right? Because Kendrick is by far the better lyricist.
Absolutely.
Drake is by far the better musician,
He's a
in my
bigger,
opinion.
he's a bigger star.
He's a better songwriter, singer-songwriter. But, he went in. I mean, look, Drake has put out a bunch of really good hits over the years. And
You see that video of him
undeniable.
playing with his dick?
And no, I did not. That's not one of those. That's not one of
A lot of other people did.
I'm out. Yeah, I don't watch that shit.
I don't
I'm
know,
just
man.
saying. Did you?
Yeah,
How many times?
couple.
Too many. Too many times.
More than
Too
any
many
straight
times.
man should have seen.
And he,
So you're just sitting there, he's like, I don't know, it just keeps restarting.
because you put it on replay and you left it on in your living room.
in my shower.
Babe, don't come in.
I'm listening to Drake. No, I just it's one of those things where like I think Kendrick, if you, like historically, has just been a much better lyricist and I think a lot better rapper. It's like when we had, I'm not even gonna call it a feud, but when like MGK and Eminem, nobody thought like for a minute like, oh, MGK has a chance.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I believe he even switched genres after that.
Yeah.
And you know what? His music is way better now.
It's like, I'm going
him-
back where I came from. I don't know
stay-
why I came over to rap.
It's like
this was a bad
it's like
idea.
if you heard John Jones was gonna fight Dave Chappelle. Like you're like, oh fuck, you know. Like,
My money's on Dave Chappelle.
yeah, good luck, Dave. Like
Dying.
we know how this ends. We can skip to the press conference. We know how this fucking ends. But I don't know.
Yeah. I guess. Yeah. So yeah, Kendrick Lamar, to me, he's destroying him. He's a far better rapper, MC, lyricist. But I'm curious to see where this goes because supposedly Drake has a lot more roots and like they're going very, very personal.
He's got more ghostwriters.
But when when the other guy walks away and the rest of the internet is calling him a pedophile, you lost, bro. Yeah, that's
where
the general narrative.
And that's where I feel like, there's people who, I feel like with a lot of these things, like the world's so fast these days that like you'll see the memes before you hear the story.
Yeah.
I agree.
Oh, yeah.
100%.
That's where it's like, and then you got to be like, oh shit, what's going on? What am I missing out on? And
Yeah.
and you're, what's going on with Kendrick?
That's why I googled. I was like, what the fuck? When's this been going? And then apparently it started back in like 2013. I'm like, what? Where the
Where
fuck
was I? When the
Like,
fuck
what
did
the
we get ice
fuck?
cream?
Exactly.
And full circle, it comes back to Taylor Swift because Drake was talking shit like, "Oh, Taylor Swift isn't letting you put out music," and then the next day it was like, "Song." I'm like, "Fuck, you fucked up, bro. You fucked up."
Yeah, you pissed him off.
Even he pissed off Taylor Swift, and Taylor Swift's like, "You better get on your job, bitch.
Yeah, well.
I'll write a whole album about you."
Neither of those guys want that smoke from Taylor Swift.
I will send the Swifties after your ass. You better win.
The Swifties, the NFL had to revolve around the Swifties. All right, listen. When that woman gets motivated, you got to fucking make
We
it
need to
happen.
show her enough to not anger the fans. Make sure they're happy.
Yes.
Did that one team ever like pick a name? They could just be the Swifties.
Yeah.
The Washington Swifties.
The Washington Swifties.
It works. It works.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't vote for them, but hey,
You wouldn't wear a
you.
Swiftie jersey?
I mean, it wouldn't match with my Swiftie underwear.
I don't know. I'm Team Swiftie. I'm all about it. Tay Tay, hit me up.
I mean, this beef. This beef has to be escalating because I know J. Cole was involved for like a day.
Yeah.
Like J. Cole released like a song, and then all of a sudden
I feel like that's how
he apologized on stage.
He took it away and apologized.
He said shit about Kendrick, and then he was like,
I
"My
saw
bad,
that.
my bad." Like, I don't want to get in this. Never mind.
That's where like J. Cole's always somebody who like his writing style is probably one of my favorites in hip hop.
Yeah, he's very good.
He's one of the best lyricists ever. And I've actually, so when I do like here in Florida, I'll play like cover shows, and I do like this little like medley of songs, and he's like one of the hardest ones to kind of put in, just because like the way his cadence of how he carries the words is so unique to the song that like I can't. There's songs that like I can take Gin and Juice from Snoop Dogg and put that on any chords and make that sound cool.
Right.
But J. Cole, like there's a flow and a melody, and it all has to kind of wrap up and tell the story.
It's very
of the song.
cohesive the way he puts his songs together. Like it really truly is like his style that he adapted. I've listened to some of his interviews, and he's like, he grew up emulating his favorite MCs his whole life, because he knew he wanted to be an MC. So he's like, the best way to be the best is to learn from the best. And he picked his cadences from his favorite rappers as he was growing up. So it's an interesting way, because like
kind of like how Kendrick like puts Pac on a pedestal because he's from the Bay Area. Like that's his guy. You know?
I think any artist in general has their influence, from comedians to painters to singers.
I think
to
that's
rappers.
honestly what really pissed Kendrick off, was when Drake released that song with like the AI with the AI Tupac.
I'm okay.
Yeah, that's a little overstepping. Like, the man's dead.
AI Pac.
Can we let him fucking be dead already?
Well, I mean,
Can
the song got taken down because apparently Tupac's estate is actively trying to sue Drake.
You mean Tupac himself?
No, we're
AI Pac.
AI Pac.
Him and Elvis Presley, they got together.
I remember.
Elvis is dead, bro.
Are you sure?
They have fit.
Are you sure?
They have
Did you see the body? Did you see the body?
Yes, there's a photo of him dead.
So one of the one of like my core.
Have you ever seen the Wayans movie?
This is such a odd memory that I have as a child, but I remember my mom. Like my parents got divorced when I was younger, and my mom started dating this guy, and he was from Vegas, and he would tell me, he's like, "Oh, I worked at the hospital in Vegas where they brought Tupac."
No shit.
And he's like, "That dude's dead." I was like, "Oh shit."
So I know, I seen him. He's dead.
Yeah, that was like,
I know. I saw him dead.
What they should have done was brought in Robin Williams as a clown and sing him back to life.
First of all, he wasn't a clown. He was a clown nose. It was Patch Adams, and he was just trying to fucking give those dying children some light
Adams
before
could have
the end.
saved him, bro.
He couldn't. It's not about saving.
It's about the laughter.
Yes.
It's about the laughter.
Yes.
All right.
God, it's
I
like
could see that.
telling a dying man a joke. I mean, fuck.
Yeah, but who's he going to
Is
tell
that
after?
He doesn't have to pay it forward, you asshole. This is the shit I'm talking about.
that's right. I mean, who knows? Like, if there's an afterlife, if there is one, he's gonna get there, and he'll just be like, "Yo, I
got
just
a
heard
joke."
this great joke."
He's like, but
Exactly.
I died before the punchline.
Yeah.
It's gonna be very sad when he finds out he's telling everybody the same joke.
Yeah. Everybody's
pissed
gonna
off.
like, "Buddy, get in line." We've all been.
We've all heard this joke. We get it.
Motherfucker, wait till I see him.
Patch fucking Adams. I just don't get. Robin Williams was such a magical person. I don't get
In
it,
what
man.
way?
In every way.
In what way?
He was a blue genie.
Yeah. Have you seen
An
Aladdin?
Aladdin?
Yeah.
Have you seen Dead Poets Society?
That was a good movie.
amazing.
However,
Have you seen Good Will Hunting?
Goodwill Hunting. I sat on that bench in Boston. It was snowing, but I sat there.
He won an Oscar.
you're telling me that the live action Aladdin isn't way better than the Robin Williams?
Get the fuck out of here.
Is that
you
still
should
Will
be
Smith?
fucking killed.
That Will Smith. That's the
Yeah. You should be fucking killed for even suggesting that. Yeah. Come on, man.
You know how much shit Will Smith had to eat every day on the set while Jada was playing?
Right, you're not Robin Williams. You're not fucking Robin Williams. Oh man.
Dead Poet Society, that's the only one that I'll give. Everything else,
You know what? Good Will
Goodwill
Hunting.
Hunting's a good one.
Mrs. Doubtfire too, that's basically.
Good Will Hunting.
Is Mrs. Doubtfire too?
Matt Damon. Ben Affleck. Minnie Driver. What the fuck are we talking about?
Good Morning Vietnam. That's like a
good one.
that's like a classic film.
Hook.
Yes, yes.
Hook.
Hook is
Oh man,
timeless.
that was my shit.
Rufio.
With these
Balls.
kids.
Rufio.
Rufio.
He was the best part of the movie.
Fair, but his hook.
Yeah.
God damn, man. Dustin Hoffman. He was fucking.
Who's Dustin Hoffman?
He's Captain Hook. What is this? Who's Dustin Hoffman?
Fuck these guys, man.
I can't fucking.
Tangerine, just delicious.
He's just a hater. That's all. Come on, man. Popeye.
Popeye?
Popeye.
I'll buy him. What was that?
What's Popeye?
Popeye the Sailor Man.
How old are you, bro?
big
Was that in
forearm.
black and
He
white?
does
Originally, Popeye was like-
spinach.
Yeah.
Spinach, yeah.
He eats an insane amount of spinach out of a can and gets super strong.
I don't believe that that's true. I have some spinach. Would you like to try this out?
No, it doesn't work.
All right. It
You'd
would
probably
get
get
your
you would
michelada.
probably get some kind of iron deficiency.
I'm pretty sure you would.
You'd have
why
kidney
he
stones.
had-
You'd have kidney stones.
That's why he has the weird eye twitch.
Yeah. He's like, this is the only thing I've been eating for years.
Yeah.
I have no other nutrients.
Also, his fucking forearms are like, his build is off.
Let's talk about olive oil, okay? That was an ugly bitch.
One of the most
What
unattractive.
were they fighting over? There was nothing that they were fighting over.
Listen, she got big feet.
So she was a floater.
It was
but that's about
a
it.
period,
bro.
It was a time period.
He's,
thing.
he's clearly a footman.
Yeah, exactly. You ever get a foot job from Olive Oil?
Can't say that I did. Can't say
I'm sorry. That's wrong. But you like what you like, you know? Maybe Popeye's just into tall, weird, gangly women. I don't know. Whatever.
Fair enough.
Was she tall or was he just really short?
There you go. There you go.
Doesn't change the fact that she was fucking ugly. She's the ugliest female cartoon in history. Name another female cartoon
God.
character that's uglier.
Miss Piggy? I don't know.
Miss Piggy over olive oil. Next, what you got?
I don't know. When I was a kid, I remember growing up.
Wait. Wait a minute.
He's like, wait, we just
Hold on.
roll past this.
No, we're not going to roll past it. You're given an option
Yes.
between a tall, thin, no curves, giant feet, human woman
Yes.
and a short
I'm tracking.
woman-pig hybrid that fucks frogs.
Yes. But she sings really beautifully, so...
You don't like musicals.
You're not taking that in.
You don't like musicals. Who cares if she sings?
All right, so...
You're tagging that pig.
These are my options?
Yes, Olive Oil or Miss Piggy.
All right, Miss Piggy. What else you got?
Ed, help me out here. Tall human woman,
Ed, help me out here.
short human pig hybrid.
Human.
Human.
Yeah.
Human is subjective.
Human
is subjective.
No, we're all of us over here
I
on
don't know about that.
all of us here are on team human pussy. All of us over here on this side of the couch. I'm not taking that pig.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it.
Art was subjective. Humans.
Yes.
No, we're not subjective.
Yes.
We're all
God.
humans here.
Wow.
Love is love.
If you are a farmer in Royal Palm Beach, his name is Nelson. Here he is. Keep an eye out. Put photos up. Don't let him near your barn.
Oh, God.
He's a monster.
So that's all you got. Miss Piggy versus olive oil.
I mean, those are the two. I mean, name some ugly female.
That's what I was gonna say. When I was a kid, like I remember it was like very common in all the cartoons that they wouldn't show like the parents'
faces. Yes, it was.
Oh yeah.
They stopped at
It's
the
like
neck.
neck down.
Yes.
They carried that over in like the Powerpuff Girls, or at least
They did. Because
you could
I
see the
believe
mayor
it's-
and you could see the professor, but the mayor's
Yeah.
like
Super
Mary
short.
Small.
secretary was like you really curvy woman, but
Yeah.
nothing.
I think
Nothing.
that's homage to an older time when those artists do things like that, or it's laziness. As
Well, there was like
also
the Charlie Brown
Charlie
teacher.
Brown.
yes,
Yeah.
Charlie
Wah,
Brown.
wah,
Yeah.
wah, 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 wah. All the adults
Didn't even have it.
talk like
Yeah,
that.
They
all the
didn't,
adults.
they didn't even give her proper words.
Right.
That's because they were trying to keep the focus on the characters.
I wonder
which
what
was
that
Charlie
voice
Brown.
actor got paid.
Not enough.
There's an ugly bitch.
Not
That
enough.
chick that fucking pulls the football away from Charlie Brown all the time.
Yes. Oh.
She's not even a real therapist.
She's definitely not.
And also,
Definitely
a child.
Fair.
Yeah.
Fair. We don't know how old Olive Oil is.
Pig again.
I'm trying to think of other ugly, but to say Olive Oil is the most unattractive cartoon female.
I can't think of any other. So therefore,
Marge
by
Simpson's
default,
yellow.
by default,
Marge
but
Simpson
still better.
would get it, bro. She
Better,
would
way
get it.
better.
Marge Simpson, Lois Griffith, every dumb male like cartoon character's got a smoking hot wife.
Yes.
Like who the
Yeah,
fuck?
Homer.
American Dad. What the fuck is his
Stan.
Yeah, Stan. His wife, Francine. She's another one.
Right, so you would peg the alien.
I wouldn't. No.
Roger?
No,
Roger,
I'm all for it. I'm all for it. Roger. Yeah. Roger, hit me up.
Yeah. Roger would probably be an excellent lover, but I don't know.
So caring.
I'm going with Lois. Lois was a freak.
Lois
fucked Kiss. Who else did she bang when she was? Kiss called her Loose Lois. They knew her from back in the day when she was a roadie. Like
That's very. I was actually just watching Family Guy today.
Yeah, Lois would get it. Marge Simpson get it.
You're forgetting the best
Cartman's
one.
mom would
Growing
get
up,
it.
Jessica Rabbit.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, right?
That shit causes puberty. Yeah, Jessica Rabbit was an overly sexualized.
So back to music. So
What,
transition.
What, man? Israel Adesanya jerks off the cartoons. We can't even talk about it. Like he's a former middleweight champion.
It's called hentai. Sir.
Exactly, hentai.
Yeah.
Hentai. Tentacles, Japan.
He's a gentleman of
times.
culture.
Yeah. Yeah.
Art is subjective.
To be fair, Sean Strickland did say, "I'm not going to lose to a man that jerks off the cartoons," and he beat him. It was an upset, but he beat him. I mean, he backed up what he said.
Every now and then, Sean does say something funny.
He did say. He said at the press conference. He wasn't even fighting Israel. He was just like, "I'm not losing to a man that jerks off the cartoon," and he fucking won. He went out there and beat him all 5 rounds. I was like, "All right, shit." I mean, the guy's not wrong.
He's a man of his word. You got to give him credit for that.
I mean, you're gonna get it held over your head if you lose to a man. But he did beat a lot of people, though. I mean, he beat a lot
Sean
of people.
Strickland or Israel?
Israel.
Yeah, he did.
He beat Alex Bahia once. You know.
Yeah.
He jerks off the cartoons.
He's a bad man in the ring, though. You got to give him credit where credit
Can you
is
imagine
due.
that? Like
All
he
right.
just finishes jerking off the cartoons, then doesn't wash his hands and just drops you.
What do you think is going on with this whole Mike Tyson Paul kid?
It's a giant circus, but
Because
Yeah.
right now they're saying it's going to be a sanctioned fight. Do you know?
That's what
anything
I
about
heard.
that?
I heard it was gonna
He
be.
makes everything a giant circus, so it's not a surprise that they turn it into a whole big show.
Yeah.
I also heard rumors that he blew up to 240, Jake Paul. And if that's the case, I want to see a piss test.
Ooh.
If he's really 240 pounds, I want to see a piss test.
I'll
'Cause
give him-
you don't add that much size.
I'll give him this. So far,
Not that
Really
quickly.
confirmed.
he's been
confirm.
very,
That's-
very dedicated to his regimen, and he's got enough money to have the right people in his corner
Yeah,
to do it
but
the
there-
right way.
there's a
but doesn't necessarily mean that he is.
There's a speed at which you can gain muscle, and he was already a big person. It slows down as you put some on. So once you get to a certain size, it literally slows down to like 1 pound a
I mean,
year.
look at
So
that
you don't-
guy Patty.
You don't add 20,
Yeah,
30
yeah,
on.
yeah.
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 But he's big on losing weight, right?
Yeah. Well,
he
Patty-
gains weight in
Patty-
the post fight.
Patty puts on a lot of body fat, and then he cuts back down.
Yeah.
So you can see he's not at the end result. He's not any bigger muscle wise.
Yeah.
But that is a good way to put muscle on and then be able to kind of maintain it.
Yeah,
from
that
there.
appears to be the game plan right now. Jake Paul is on track, they say, to bulk up to 240 for this fight.
Okay, so
which
he's on track.
So
and
what
still
was
has
he at
some
the
time.
what was he at the last fight?
his last fight, he was like, he couldn't have been more than like a $190, like $195.
So
There's
yeah,
no way.
you don't put 30 pounds on after you've already gotten to around the 200-pound mark.
Right.
That
Especially if you're
quickly.
doing boxing
you don't,
workouts.
You
That's
don't.
cardio.
You don't do it that quickly. Yeah, because you're burning so much energy just doing the boxing. The amount of calories you have to consume, your body just doesn't put it on that fast.
240 is what Anthony Joshua weights, the former heavyweight champion. There's no fucking way that Jake Paul.
Yeah,
is
that's
gonna
pretty
get up to
wild.
that.
That's pretty wild.
I think Jake Paul beats Mike Tyson. It's sad, but
I mean, at 240, you're getting on a
It's
you
a
can get on a
circus.
bodybuilding
Yeah.
stage.
Yeah.
That's
That's
where-
huge.
yeah.
Will this be? This is the first one of these kind of like big name ones that is sanctioned, correct?
Yeah,
Yes.
correct. The
Yes.
Roy Jones, Mike Tyson one was just an exhibition.
Yeah,
It didn't go
correct.
on anyone's record. It was
Yes.
just a.
Yeah, supposedly Mike wanted it to be a sanctioned fight.
well,
I think he's taking it that seriously.
Yeah, I think he kept running his mouth, so he's like, okay, make it a real fight.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of
which
Look,
is ridiculous.
I'm intrigued.
So who's if Mike Tyson's that old? Who the fuck is sanctioning this?
Yeah, like what's
What-
the division? Young kid versus senior citizen?
Yeah.
Like,
like who gave him his license again if he's sanctioned?
I guarantee I know where it is.
Texas.
Florida.
Where's it at?
coming to the Seminole Casino.
Fuck yeah, man. Yo, Ron DeSantis is like, fuck it, anything goes. Let him in.
there's different rules when you're on Indian ground.
Yeah, man.
That's why the UFC started because they were allowed to do it.
The thing is, when there's enough money involved, you'll find somebody.
People find a way.
It's going to be in Texas.
Texas. It makes sense.
July 20th, AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas. So it's the Cowboys fucking stadium.
And this is going to be streamed live on Netflix, too.
Yep.
Yeah.
So this is going to be a pretty wild one, considering
Netflix is doing a lot of the live stuff now.
Well, that's where they just did the Brady roast, right?
Yeah.
Because I didn't watch it, and I went back to go find it. I was like, oh, it's not fucking
If you
here.
were online
Bullshit.
today,
I
the
watched
Tony
it.
Hinchcliffe, fucking savage, and he didn't hold back at all. I mean, he really just was like, yeah, fuck all these people.
Yes.
I don't care who's here. Everyone's getting it.
no,
And it
yeah.
was fantastic.
So was Nikki Glazer.
Nikki Glazer. That's what
Nikki Glazer was
Fucking
fucking
ripped
brutal.
him.
Oh, she's
Brutal.
fantastic.
Yeah,
The amount of Aaron Hernandez jokes, I was like, dude, yes, I love this. I fucking love this. And supposedly, like, there was like a deal. Like, no one knew whether Robert Kraft, the owner of the Patriots, was coming. They had no idea whether he was going to be there. When they turned out he was there, Jeff Ross, the roast master, apparently he went off script and started like saying shit about Robert Kraft. And like Tom even went up to him like in front of everyone, went up on the stage and was, hey, don't say that shit again.
Ready, set it. Too late.
Nah, man,
Jeff Ross just started making massage jokes immediately. He's like, there's Robert Kraft. I'm making massage jokes.
Now, look, and there's a man who has made a career off of just talking shit.
Yep.
That's somebody I respect.
Yeah.
That's like he is the roast master. Who else other than Jeff Ross in like our generation, so to speak, is killing it with the roasts.
I mean, I don't know.
Hinchcliffe. See, the thing is, Hinchcliffe
He's coming up.
spent a lot of
Kill
years
Tony.
writing for everybody on the roast, but he wasn't allowed to go on stage. He's finally gotten big enough where they're like, oh, you're not just writing for the other comics. You get to go on stage now.
Right.
The one joke that really fucked Kevin Hart up was there was a comedian there who was like black, trans, gay, whatever. The female.
Yeah.
She was obviously a woman, but I guess she's lesbian. I don't know. She's wearing a suit.
Robert Downey Jr.
The one fucking comedian said something. He said she doesn't eat pussy. She oh hell gnaws on it. And I was like, what the fuck? Oh my god! Like, and Kevin Hart couldn't get over it. Kevin Hart's like, fuck you, man. Like I can't get past that. Like it was the stupidest shit ever.
I think comedy though, like in its recent years after we had all of these like Me Too movements and other movements where everybody was kind of like, not Me Too movement, but all these movements against like
Cancel and all that
cancel
other
culture.
shit.
That's
Yeah.
what I was looking for.
It was
Yeah,
good to
yeah.
have a roast.
No,
Yeah.
it's good to see that comedians upheld like, nah, fuck that, freedom of speech. We're gonna talk shit. It's all in good fun. If you don't like to hear it, just move on. Because like we're just cracking jokes and trying to
I
have
think
fun.
some of
Yeah.
it is a lot of the comedians now aren't aiming to become comic actors. They're aiming to be comedians. So if they burn bridges with Hollywood being funny, they don't care.
So be it.
Yeah.
It's like, whatever. We're not aiming to be what you guys over there anyway, especially after the shit that happened with Chris Rock. They're like, you didn't even fucking protect the man.
Yeah.
You applauded later on in the night, so fuck you guys. There's a lot of them that are like, no, we're not doing anything with you guys over there. You can go play over there. We're done with you.
I've kind of always, like, as a musician, especially when I started playing, like, I always felt that, like, musicians and comedians, we're kind of related. We're kind of cousins in a way.
You're in the same spectrum, absolutely.
Yeah, and, like, that's where there would be things that things that I started seeing some of my comedian friends do are the same things we're doing, where it's starting to look at things more in a business sense of the opportunities have changed. Like the game is different. Like for instance, in our world, it's record labels like that. We're not getting any sort of upfront check to go record an album or anything like that. That doesn't exist anymore at our level. For like comedians and stuff, like, instead of going this Hollywood route and stuff, I'm just gonna blow up online. Make all my own merch, sell out. That's
start a podcast.
A lot of them go into podcasting.
Make a YouTube channel, Instagram. I mean, Andrew Schultz got huge during the pandemic on Instagram.
I think that's who told that joke about oh hell no. I think it was Andrew Schultz.
Andrew Schultz. He's fucking hilarious.
He's fantastic. Yeah.
But
he's
he just
really
sold out Madison Square Gardens. They were saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
But
a
I
hell
also
of an achievement.
I do think it's important, like what you're saying, as far as like there are new avenues for musicians, comedians, artists in general to get on these platforms, but there is also the other side of it, oversaturation as well, because then
dude, I fucking learned that one the hard way.
anybody could throw their shit out there, and it's like there is fun for me to like sift through and find like new artists and new music that I like.
Though, like it's a good thing. It's a good thing, but it also lets people that don't know what the fuck they're doing create shit. But I mean,
right. But it's just like anything else.
One of my favorite guys to listen to is a guy that I don't think he's signed. He just like releases YouTube content. His name's Dan Vask. He's like a long black haired dude. I think he's European. He does metal covers of like all these different songs, and his voice is fucking amazing.
That's dope.
And if YouTube didn't exist, I would never have heard of him ever because like no one has him signed. He's independent,
and that's where like when it comes to the way music's being released, I've had to kind of deal with my preconceived notions. Like I grew up, CDs were the thing, but I would put a CD in and fucking listen to it, like one to the end.
Yep.
I'd be like, that was great. Some songs weren't that good, but all overall,
as a whole,
it was a great album.
Yeah.
That's still how I like to release music. I still like to release albums, but we're working on my third right now, and we really don't know if we're gonna put it on Spotify. Like it just seems kind of just not worth it at this point. You know?
Because you put a lot of money, time, effort into recording these songs and putting them out there. And we were talking about it before the podcast started, is like, you're not even making pennies to the plays that you're doing. And if you can explain what Spotify is now doing.
Yeah, so I mean, it's changed this year. In the past, if somebody streamed one of your songs, say I have my song Fuck Florida, if we were to play that right now in 2022, I would be paid 0.00000, I want to say it's 502 of a cent.
Yeah.
And that's fucking nothing. And thankfully, if your album is lucky, like my first two were lucky to go, I got over 150,000 streams on both of them, and that was cool. But at that price rate of however many fractions of a penny, I think I maybe made a couple $100 off each album, which was cool and stuff. But now it's changed. Now it's changed where if you don't have 1,000 streams per song per month, and X amount of monthly listeners, you don't get paid anything. And Spotify will not disclose what X amount of listeners is. So they won't let you know what that is. So
it's ridiculous.
I was gonna say.
Right? And they're one of the two major platforms. It's Spotify and iTunes.
Yep, that's it.
Well, and so prior to this, one of my best friends, Ricky Boulafay, who's coming on the tour with me, was able to explain this to me last year, where even when we were getting paid that fraction of a penny, there was a bigger system at play here, where yes, we are getting paid a fraction of a penny, but there is more money coming from that stream. That money is being funneled to the top artist in Spotify because their pay is bigger.
Right.
And so their pay is a lot bigger because they want to keep them happy, keep them on the
They want to keep them on the platform,
releasing their music on their stuff.
Because they're pulling in people as listeners, and they don't want their listeners to go somewhere else.
How much do you think Taylor Swift is making off Spotify?
She's killing it. Another one that's
she
killing it too
remastered
is
a bunch
Bad Bunny.
of her music so that she was the owner. So she's making.
I will probably end up having to do that at one point with my first album. I got into just kind of a shitty deal.
Yeah.
It was my first album, and I finally had somebody who would put it out and get it done. So I'm not thrilled about how it came out, and the whole experience kind of left a bad taste in my mouth.
Oh yeah, so Taylor Swift has made an estimated $131 million off Spotify.
Wow. Yeah, but that's what it is. It's like the
nice.
Outliers.
The question is, though,
the outliers
did her
are getting
streams make that, or how much of it is being funneled from other people because they're not hitting particular numbers that's hidden in the background?
Taylor Swift's probably the final boss, bro. She's probably like levitating at the top with like wires going into her, like fucking Vecna,
Scott Pilgrim style shit.
All these artist money is just going into her, and she's she's getting bigger.
No, but another artist like that, Bad Bunny. He's making incredible amounts of money, but
I don't speak any Spanish.
But
so,
I would say he's making more money off of his tours, though. His tours are so fucking expensive.
Well, if you go back into like the history, if you go back and look at like music history, it used to be you would record an album, you would tour that album to sell that album, and that's how you made your money. Then it became that there was no money from the albums, but you were making money from the tours. And so it was like, okay, well, you start to see this shift in bands focusing just solely on their live show.
Yep.
And then you start seeing live albums come out, and then it's mainly merch. And now all of a sudden this band's got 8 different t-shirt
That's
designs
when they
and all
came
this
out with the
stuff.
360 deal. Like, oh, we're not making money off your album. We want a piece of your tour.
Exactly.
We want a piece of your merch. Oh, you got a show appearance?
Yeah.
You got to pay us too. Anything you do, we own you.
Yeah,
crazy.
and that's where, you know, thankfully in the music realm that I exist in is kind of, I think, like the punk rock world and the DIY community, I think, is just like naturally suspicious of anything from the music industry.
Rightfully so.
Yeah.
You know, and it's kind of like I learned a lesson hard on my first album, and it was something that I'm kind of glad at this point happened, because like the lessons I learned from it have kind of rooted my beliefs in
Staying
the
independent
DIY
and doing it
community,
yourself,
and it's just, you know, it's gotten to the point where like the first time I ever ordered t-shirts for merch, I paid $4 a shirt and I had to order 100. So it's a $400 shirt order.
Right.
Fuck that shit. I make the shirt at my house.
Yeah.
I ordered the screen that's burned. I got the ink. I did like 20 today.
Right.
I'll do 20 tomorrow, and then I have my merch for tour.
That's dope.
You know?
That's the way to do
And
it.
and it's just, and that's where I've also realized, like, there's bands, like when I started, sometimes I would feel guilty if I had a shirt and being like, shit, I got to ask someone to give me $20 for this shirt. Like that's a lot of money. But now it's like, now I understand, like, and people who buy the stuff tend to understand, like, this person's eating with this money.
Yeah.
Right.
This is their living.
Their livelihood.
And stuff like that. And that's where in the DIY community and just in these travels that I've had of going around the country and finding other artists and other creative people that are like this, where it's all very common, just kind of helping people as they come to your area, you know? And it's like with bands specifically, you know, we'll do things called show swaps, where if we have a band in Atlanta that wants to play here, we'll book them, and then they'll book us in Atlanta. It works out and stuff. But for the most part, when it's like helping people out or people helping us out on the road, there's really like no guarantee of reciprocation. Like, it's more just in
Like
the
a
spirit,
gentleman's handshake kind of a deal. Yeah.
you know. And it's something that's offered me some of like the most beautiful experiences in my life that I didn't think I would. You know, like I never thought I would be going through like the Pacific Northwest on a train, and I never knew that would it's, I guess, regarded as the best train in the country, like for sightseeing, for going through the Pacific Northwest and all that type of stuff. So, you know, just weird things, playing in New York City and playing in Nashville and stuff like that. Like these opportunities sometimes are worth more than Spotify numbers.
That's dope, man. That's a beautiful way to look at it.
like
you know?
that.
Yeah, for sure. You know, I grew up in New York. I grew up in Brooklyn. So when hip hop became really important to me, like it was the local bars, like, and they weren't getting paid. A lot of times it was like, well, you can drink at the bar for free if you do a 15-minute set and you can hang out here. Or if you had X amount of people coming through, you could get like a portion of the door sales to get in there and stuff like that. And it was just like comedians. They would just travel from they're like, all right, today I'm in this area of Manhattan. I'm going to set up. I'm going to do 15 minutes here, 15 minutes there, 15 minutes there. And then they would make their money and they would travel around. And that's how they built up. But also at that time, too, they were selling CDs. CDs are a non-thing for the most part now at the moment, because everybody wants streaming stuff. But
we moved away from CDs last year and we did vinyl. And vinyl did really well, but it's very expensive to make. And it was like, especially still coming out of the pandemic, there were supply chain issues of some places not having.
I
the
think
vinyl.
there's only like 2 or 3 manufacturers that really make vinyl. Isn't there something like that at one point?
It's
got
not
down,
a lot.
Yeah, it got down to like we're the last of the people here that are still even making it.
Yeah, it's not a lot, but so like with that, you know, if you look back at like, say, if there was corporate vinyl pressing places that had all these machines that are now shut down, those machines have been sold off, and now there are smaller independent companies that own these old machines and are able to do things. It's still very costly, but but it is doable, and they do sell. CDs tend to sell too, but
Nice.
I even used to say on stage. So I stopped getting CDs and started doing these things called sticker packs, which it's just 3 stickers in a bag for $5. And my thought process behind that was I used to say like I would make a joke that like you could buy this CD and it could be a coaster for your beer or a clean surface for drugs. And
That's cool.
and
I like the angle.
you know, and most of the time when someone buys a CD, you can I kind of am aware that they probably won't ever listen to that.
But it's a nicety. It's like, hey, I liked what you did
Exactly.
here. How can I support you? I'll cop this right
So
here.
in comes the sticker pack, where it was like, okay, well, if it's costing me this much to make a CD, this person's not listening to it. The music's online,
Right.
Or if they do really want to buy the music, it's on Bandcamp, which is a great service for musicians. So yeah, I saw a band from Scotland called Biffy Clyro, and I loved they had this little bag of stickers, and I was like, this is
That's
genius.
the way to do it.
This is absolutely fucking genius. Just throw these things in a Ziploc baggie and sell them for $5.
That's
And
what's up, man.
it's become my my best selling item. Like it's
That's
hard to
dope.
keep them in stock.
So tell everybody where they can find your music and how they can find you on social media.
Yeah, so social media on Instagram, that's probably where I'm most active. That's at Dominic Delaney. Facebook would be facebook.com/DominicDelaneyMusic. I'm on all of the streaming platforms for the moment, but Bandcamp is the best place to get all my merch. And I also kind of like to put up some secret tracks up there every now and again.
Nice.
We leave for tour on May 15th. Our first show will be the 16th in Seattle. From there, we go to Tacoma the next night. Then we have a 30-hour train through Montana.
How do you spell Delaney?
Delaney.
Thank you.
And so,
He's like, Delaney.
yeah. So after Tacoma, we got 30 hours through Montana. No show in Montana, unfortunately. Then we play a place in Minot, North Dakota, St. Paul, Minnesota, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Springfield, Illinois, St. Louis, Missouri, Memphis, Tennessee, and then Nashville, Tennessee.
And all these dates, are they on any of these?
Yeah,
websites
so
or anything
yep,
like that?
we've got flyers. They're all out they're pinned on most of our pages and all that
Nice.
stuff. So
Nice.
And we've got individual show flyers that are out with the local support acts as well.
Nice, man.
Which will be a lot of fun. So
yeah.
Good shit.
Everybody
Good shit.
like, follow, and share. And to close us off, I only have one question for Ian. Miss Piggy or olive oil?
Olive oil all day.
Thank you for joining us at the Sofa Kingdom podcast, where Ian is a fucking liar. He'll take Miss Piggy for sure. For sure.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
We'd like to thank our special guest for joining us and putting up with our shenanigans as we do.
Yeah. He's good people.
Yes, definitely. So
When you're done traveling the trains, you can always stop back.
I'll be here.
Hell
I'll be
yeah,
here.
hell yeah. And you can find us on all your social media platforms at,
Sofa Kingdom OFC,
and on YouTube at.
Sofa Kingdom Podcast.
Ian, take it away.
I don't know where the hell I'm taking us.
Take it.
Force your
Miss
friends
Piggy's
to listen
house.
to us. Fuck no. Fuck no. We here at Sofa Kingdom do not support bestiality or interspecies breeding.
Bro.
Human on human.
Yeah,
Human
that's
on human.
interspecies.
Or love bot.
Human is interspecies.
Oh, well then well,
So
don't
what are you
mix.
fucking? What are you fucking? Are you a flower?
We don't mix
What,
here.
what are you? Photosynthesis?
We don't mix here. Sound like my ancestors.
How did you slip
Now everybody's gonna be like, oh god, he's that white guy.